Dani.
This is Lauren.
Welcome to the Butterfly Effect podcast.
We are two wellbeing besties here to have a little chit chat about the nitty gritty shitty of healing, all things wellbeing and what it's like being a young female entrepreneur just doing their best and figuring it out as they go.
Through this, we are on a quest to encourage and inspire women to spread their wings to grow, transform and heal.
Be sure to like and follow the Butterfly Effect podcast wherever you get your podcasts.
New episodes will be dropping every Wellness Wednesday.
And you can also follow us at butterflyeffect.pod on Instagram. Send us your questions, send us your stories. We can't wait to get to know you.
Let's get chatting.
Yay! Hello, honeys. Happy Wellness Wednesday.
Happy Wellness Wednesday.
Episode 2. Here we go.
Wow.
How you feeling, honey?
I feel great. How are you?
I feel good. We've had a good morning, actually, haven't we?
It's been really, really nice.
Yes.
I worked. I started at 8 today.
Early start, man.
Early start, but I was finished by 12.
Nice.
The morning whizzed.
Yeah.
It went
good.
really fast.
How many clients did you have in that time then?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
5 clients in that
5.
time? Wow.
All 45-minute massages apart from a half an hour Reiki sesh.
Okay, nice.
It's really nice to like split up the morning.
Okay, lovely.
And a quick patch just to end the day.
Okay, nice.
It was really
wow,
nice.
really packed them in there.
And then I headed over to lovely Nelly Mosa to see you,
Yes,
which was so lovely, for a Root to Rise session. And oh my gosh, I felt so chilled. I said to you, like I had the experience of almost like when we went into the spoken meditation, would you call it, at the beginning?
Yeah, the opening, settling in. Yeah, you said you kind of felt like you were just sinking or sliding down slowly. Yeah.
It was magical, but just
Beautiful.
embraced it fully, and it was, lovely. Released a bit of emotion at the end.
Yeah.
We both had a little hug.
We
It
had
was
a
very
little hug.
wholesome.
Yeah, it was a very wholesome
It was
morning.
very. So I just feel quite relaxed and very reset. So thank you for that.
No, you're so welcome. I was so pleased that you could join me for a session, and it's so magical being able to hold space for you in particular because I don't know, like obviously we've spoken about this a little bit in the last episode, how much we value each other's time and how much we value how we can hold space for each other, but it hits so differently when, I don't know, you come into, because you've been to my yoga classes before.
Yeah, for sure.
But
they're lovely, they're amazing.
Yeah, but we've not worked on like a one-to-one level before. And obviously the Root to Rise is a new thing that I'm offering, since the summer. And it's...
How often do you do them?
How often do I do them? I think it's about twice a month at the moment.
Oh,
yeah, I
perfect.
met Nelly Mosa twice a month. I've got 2 days happening in September as well, on a Wednesday evening and on a Saturday morning. And I fit about 4 clients in a time, 3 to 4 maybe.
Nice.
Full hour session, and it's just it's a chance for people to completely and utterly unravel.
I really did. It felt such a lovely end to the month and just to wrap things up.
Yeah,
going into the month of September. Beautiful.
Yeah.
The next quarter, actually, I've been thinking about that a lot this week.
Yes,
that we're literally moving into, the next 4 months, which is just mad to end the year.
That is crazy.
Yeah, and it felt like worded it so well to really shape it into exactly what I needed. Because we had a little chat at the beginning, what I was hoping to kind of get out the session, what I've been feeling, how my body is.
Yeah,
and that I'd never really thought about the nervous system, tapping into the gut.
Yes.
How I've been eating this week.
Yeah,
It's been
sleep
so
pattern.
busy. Yeah, I loved that. What were the 4 things? I might write them down. So then I can check in with myself a bit more often.
So the nervous system check-in that features at the beginning of a Root to Rise session is just a chance for you to really land and check in with how you're feeling through the lens of your nervous system.
That's it. That's really, that's that nice.
Yeah, because as I said to you in the session, your nervous system cannot lie. So you might ask someone how they're feeling today, and they might say like, oh, I'm okay, I'm feeling this, I'm feeling that. But when you actually come to understand your nervous system, there's so much more to it, and your nervous system tells the truth of how you're feeling. Your nervous system cannot lie. So the things that I ask people is to check in with the lungs, how the breath is feeling.
Yeah. I've been quite short breath breathing this week, and I felt that in my chest.
Yeah, but
so
I could
to actually
see,
opening up,
and I could really see as you were reclining back, I could see like the belly rise and fall, and how you're just really letting your breath take up space, and that's a beautiful thing to witness. That's why I love the session so much. I can see people really breathing and really taking the time to take that breath.
Yeah, stunning.
And then checking with heart space, whether the heart is beating fast, slow, and using the breath to kind of encourage the heart rate a little bit.
I felt it a lot deeper actually. When I was lying there, it almost felt like it was really pounding, but not at a space of like uncomfortable. It was just noticeable because I was able to actually be present with it.
Yeah, it's very rare that you actually get to notice and feel your heartbeat, and you actually have to enter a real state of deep relaxation to feel your heart beating. But I always like to remind people, you know, even if you can't feel your heart beating in that moment, it is there. It's beating. It's beating just for you.
Yeah, it was really special.
Yeah, beautiful. And then so lungs, heart space, digestive system. And that's where we look at like the past week or so, and like whether you felt excessively hungry, whether you've forgotten to eat, whether you feel like you've nourished yourself well, and with all these like little questions that I'm encouraging you to question, like encouraging you to just notice about yourself. There's no judgment, there's no expectation. It's just a case of just seeing where we're at. And then with the digestive system, or after the digestive system, we look at sleep pattern.
Yeah.
And again, how that's been functioning the past week. Whether you felt well rested, maybe you've had disturbed sleep, or maybe you've slept really deeply and you still feel like you need more. And then finally is body temperature regulation.
I'd never thought about that before.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. And again, it's something that we don't really notice, we don't really check it in. So whether you felt like particularly hot, like cold or clammy, or like warm and sweaty, it's just an opportunity to notice and then see how your nervous system has been communicating to you throughout the past week or however long, and then taking that with you into the next week and see how you can perhaps be more attuned to your nervous system and go about your day in a way that just feels more connected.
Yeah, it really did.
Yeah.
I think also just being like mindful of it
Yeah.
before, like maybe if I go to sleep, and then when I either wake up or before I head off to sleep, to be like, oh, how have I eaten today?
Yeah.
What is my heartbeat like? Just to be in that moment with it.
And it just encourages
really
you
cool.
to, I suppose, look after you a bit more, like making sure you're prioritising sleep, you're prioritising rest, making sure you're nourishing your body. Because by nourishing your nervous system is the thing that underpins everything. Our thought processes, our internal bodily processes, it underpins every single thought, action in the body. And by nourishing your nervous system, you're nourishing the very, very centre, the very core of you.
When did you do the course? It was over like a few months, wasn't it?
When did I do that? Maybe April? I think so.
It's really cool that you can incorporate so much of that into your practices, and just the awareness, and also having like the responsibility to share that knowledge with your clients is really cool.
Yeah, no, I absolutely loved it, and being able to share this type of knowledge just feels really powerful. And there's still so much more to come. There's still so much more I can tap into. So watch this space.
Woo! We're going to be getting to know you a bit more today.
Yeah, we've been chatting already.
We have. So we are going to be doing a little like intro to both of us on episode 2 and 3.
Yes.
Basically, I'll be asking Lauren today 5 top questions, and then one question came in from our question box from a client of mine. And something she would like to know about you.
Oh, okay.
So very fun.
I'm quite scared, but okay.
No, fun. Okay, so question number 1. What was your biggest fear in moving to Bedford on your own?
Ooh, okay. Interesting. Biggest fear. Well, technically I didn't move to Bedford solely on my own. I was on my own for the first few weeks. The intention was that I was always going to set up a home base with my now ex. But I think, I don't remember feeling any particular kind of fear. I suppose there was a bit of fear and a bit of unknown moving in with a boy.
Was that first time that, like, having a first space with someone?
Yes. Yeah. But I had already had some experience in living in my own place anyway, so it felt quite natural to me, and it felt like the natural next step. And it was quite an exciting time because I was about to start my master's degree in dance performance and choreography. So I suppose I didn't really feel any kind of...
Just excitement of like what's coming next for you, just moving into it, literally.
Yeah, and I think the first time I actually felt any fear was actually when the university course ended and all my university friends had moved out of Bedford. I stayed, so I was like, okay, what am I going to do now? How am I going to find my people? How am I going to find my tribe? That was the scariest thing, I reckon. But
Very cool.
yeah, I wouldn't change it. I wouldn't change it, absolutely.
I love
worked
that.
out. It's worked out.
Okay, what does success look like to you?
Ooh, success. Oh,
If you think about the word,
Yeah.
what comes to mind? So many people have such massive variations on this question.
Yeah. There's another word that actually comes to my mind straight away when you say the word success. And it's actually something I've been thinking a lot about this week. Success to me is freedom. The freedom to do what it is you want to do, whatever you're passionate about, without too much limitation. There's always going to be such limitation, you know, it's the world we live in. But yes, success is freedom, and not this overbearing happiness, but contentment. And this like steady underlying joy beneath all things. Like, you know, when you're going about your day and you just feel content, you feel good about what you're doing, you feel happy and content within yourself, you've got your people around you, you've got whatever it is you need, and it's just that, yeah, it's just that contentment. And with that, you've then got the freedom to again do whatever it is you want to do. Yeah, so success to me is freedom.
Amazing. Cats or dogs?
Cats or dogs? Oh my god, that's so hard.
This is the question I thought I knew the answer to when I was thinking about it.
Okay.
But then I thought about Pan.
Yeah, I do
love Pan.
Oh.
So cats or dogs, honey? Gotta pick.
Yeah, I think it would always be dogs. I have grown up with dogs, and actually, fun fact, people might not know this, I worked in a dog kennel and cattery for a good few years, and I still had that job even when I moved to Bedford.
Did you? Where was it based?
Leicester.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I'd travel back up every other weekend, I think.
That's
and
really
I'd work
cool.
a full weekend there. I loved it. So yeah, I'd definitely say mostly dogs, but I do love cats as well.
Yeah.
And also, favourite dog breed, golden retriever, all the way.
Oh yeah,
all the
you'll
way.
have one little baby one day.
Yeah, I'm gonna have one.
Do you see yourself at 60 holding space for yoga practices?
Ooh, I mean, if I'm 60 and I'm still teaching yoga,
You'd be the coolest vibe.
What
I'd be
a
coming
badass.
to you. Yeah.
Like, I feel
Coolest
so
granny
cool.
group ever.
Oh my god, I love it. Also, I'd love to, you know, still be able to like feel that sense of space in my body, and like if my body is still able to move in the way I do now, then that would feel so incredible.
Yeah, amazing.
But obviously it's not just about the movement, but like, yeah, that would feel so badass if I'm still teaching at 60.
That's cool. I can imagine you doing that.
I think I'd be really
can.
cool, like
Imagine
hipster granny.
Yeah, literally that. Cool trousers like you're wearing today.
Yes.
Tatted up.
And also, I'd bring like
with a mat and all essential oils. Like, hey guys.
I'd also love the idea. I think about this with my nieces all the time. I'd love to like get them into yoga, and then for them to see me as the like cool hipster auntie.
Yeah, cool.
So like when I'm 60, and if I'm still teaching, and like maybe they also become little yoga teachers.
You never know.
My brother probably doesn't know this about his nieces, but I'm going to encourage them to be little yogis before he knows it.
It's great for them in every way.
It is, absolutely.
Okay, and then this is the question.
Mm.
Oh, no, sorry, one more.
Okay.
If you could tell your 19-year-old self one thing, what would it be? Either business or personal, you choose.
Okay.
19, so you were starting uni?
No, 19, I was actually on my gap year. Yes, Year Art Drama. Shout out Year Art Drama, actually. It's where I met a lot of my close pals that I have now. 19-year-old self, God, what a baby. Oh, I'd love to go back and give her a hug.
So would I.
She was so insecure. Well, she was independent to a level, but she had a lot of fear. She did have a lot of fear. I would go back and tell her to never be afraid to stand up for herself and what she believes in. And every time you do stand up for yourself, it is the most empowering thing you'll ever do. Yeah, that's what I tell her for sure. That gets me choked up a little bit, actually. It just makes me want to send a lot of love to her.
I don't know whether, I think it might have been a song or like part of a meditation I was doing the other day, but it was saying like, think of each stage of the woman you are
Yes.
She is a past version of you,
Yeah.
but give her love, give her incense, give her flowers.
Yes, I've heard what you're
Is
saying.
this a meditation or a music something?
I think I've heard it like as a soundtrack on a reel or something.
Maybe we'll share it to our stories if
the
we
name
come
of the
across it.
person is like at the forefront of
Really?
my mind. If we discover the name of the person that wrote this, it's in a song, and I think she collaborates with Trevor Hall on it.
Yeah.
And I want to say it begins with an E.
We'll find it.
Oh my god, it's
It'll
going to come to me.
us.
And if we find it, we'll put it in the show notes. Is that a thing? Is that
Pop it in the show notes.
Put it in the show notes, honey.
Yes. And finally, this is the question from the client.
Okay.
What happened with the relationship? Why was it so hard to get over?
Wow. Okay. I mean, this needs another episode in itself.
This is another but hey, we've got like at least 5 minutes to share, so.
Hang on, so ask me the question again.
So, what happened with the relationship?
What happened with the relationship?
Why was it so hard to get over? With 3 love hearts, it's sent with love.
Okay, so it's a 2-parter. The relationship, it was a long relationship, and we lived together. So I met him when I was 19, and we broke up just before I turned 29. So the entirety of my 20s, pretty much, the entirety of my young adult life was spent with this boy. And, you know, when you've been together such long, we were together officially 8 years, and, you know, doing all the things that we were supposed to do. We started living together, and I was, you know, making waves and making, you know, dropping hints to say, you know, let's pop a ring on it, you know, get the house and everything, get a dog, and like we discussed all these plans. It was like very clear what our intentions were, and yes, towards I mean, knowing what I know now, I'd probably say things a lot differently, but the nice way of phrasing it is that it came to a natural end. We'd kind of grown as much as we could with one another, but the way in which it came to an end was awful. Because it got to a point where he no longer saw me as a teammate, he no longer saw me as a team player, and he started treating me awfully. And then you come to realise in hindsight kind of all like the narcissistic tendencies, and you know, the gaslighting, and also the gaslighting I was doing to myself. So why did it take so long to get over? One of the reasons was, you know, we were together such a long time, and he was my everything.
Yeah.
And I had invested so much time to making this relationship work. But when you come to the realization that that person no longer sees you as worth the work and worth the investment, and then doesn't make any effort to fix it or communicate to you, like, you know, this is how I'm feeling.
Yeah. Communication's just bottom line, baseline, everything, isn't it? Of where you're at.
And when it gets to the point where you have to break your own heart and say, like, you know, this isn't working, that is the hard thing. That's the hard thing. So it was a really awful time, and there's so much more. There's so much more. As I say, the basics of it was that, you know, we'd come to the end of our time together. We'd grown as much as we could with one another, but there's other things. There's other things in terms of you know, the ways in which you should treat another person, ways in which you would expect to be treated. Especially someone you spent 8 years together. And
you're in love with. Like, there should be a bottom line of respect regardless where you're at. I think that definitely comes from, like, your own self-respect as well, right? Like, you knew that you were treating someone with respect because you owe it to yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
And when that goes, like, that's really...
Yeah. And it's...
tricky.
And I think, again, it's taken a long time to get over because I had to completely rediscover who I am, how I exist, my own likes and my dislikes. I had to rediscover my self-worth, and that's been a journey in itself. So, yeah, I suppose that answers. It still doesn't feel like I've answered the question fully because I still feel like there's so much more I could say. it feels like that's just kind of like a scratch in the surface. But maybe another episode we'll dive into the specifics a little bit more. But that was a biggie. That's a big one
That's
to
a
finish
big one.
on. Feisty.
Wow,
Goodness.
but very good. Thank you. I hope that came across beautifully.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, literally, and you owe it to yourself to show yourself that respect, as we say. Like, actually, I've overcome this massive challenge. Look how fucking amazing I am.
Thank you, honey.
Actually,
to be able to talk about it this candidly as well, and especially since what I found out recently, and like, there's been an unraveling the past year.
Retrograde was really retrograde.
Retrograde.
Jesus. So anyone that doesn't know, retrograde happens every 4 months, I think.
I think so, yeah.
About that, and if in the last 4 weeks, if you had really felt some shifts happening, if you had felt like your foundations were being chucked up in the air and having to reset, technology, it can really, really disrupt things along the way. But one of the things, they say that stories or situations with your ex can reappear.
Yeah, like people from past lives, they come back, or like
really
people from your past rather, they come back, and they did, and they had some stories to tell.
For sure. But you handled it like a queen.
I did my best, and here we are now.
Here we are.
That was fun.
That was very fun.
Wow.
Amazing. So, episode 2. Over and out.
I hope you guys enjoyed learning more about little old me is what I was trying to say there. So, and it's on to you next.
Woo!
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Ooh.
A bit nervous, actually.
Unfortunately, honey, you're going to have to wait until the next episode for that one. But thank you so much for listening. Hope you enjoyed. We shall catch you next week for another Wellness Wednesday where I get to interview Dani.
I'm nervous. If we find that wonderful song/meditation, look out for it in the show notes, as we say.
Yeah.
And don't forget to drop us a follow on butterflyeffect.pod on Instagram. That's usually your gig.
That usually is my line. So follow us on the gram, like and subscribe to the podcast, and we shall see you in the next ep.
Peace.
Peace out, honeys.